in after our call today. I just was thinking of that and was wondering if you had those accessible to you, but
No.
next time. Awesome. All right. So you can go ahead and find a seat, whatever that looks like for you. I will recommend that you have some sort of pillow, not just for only our seats here at the top of class, but also towards the end of class, we'll use it. Great. And then once you find that, find a little bit more freedom in the neck, in the shoulders. Take what you need. If you need to like roll it out. Maybe wiggle the arms, wiggle the fingers. Take a moment to pause. If you can, close your eyes. If not, just think about the gaze softening so you can just like maybe lessen the distractions or the pull of everything around you. And before we go anywhere, just take a moment to pause and honor yourself for like taking the time to show up. To show up for yourself, to find a little bit of space in your body, maybe even as a result in your mind. And take a deep breath in. A long breath out. Whatever that looks like for you, take 3 more like that. So feel yourself like anchor into the physical space that you are in. Maybe even the present moment, one breath at a time, wherever you are. And take one more big inhale. Open up your mouth. Slow exhale. And whenever you're ready, just blink your eyes open. Take in just a little more light. Try not to take in all the distractions. And then just meet me in hands and knees, tabletop pose. Nothing too fancy. You can keep that pillow nearby. And once you're in hands and knees, start to find slow, subtle movements. So using your inhale to lift the chest. And then exhaling to round your upper back and drop your head. So that can be as big or as small as you need it to be. But all I ask is that you match movement with breath. So inhaling to lifting the heart. Exhaling to round. And if you want to play off of that and add in lateral movements side to side, maybe moving the head, the neck, tucking the toes. And with your toes tucked, once you feel complete there, really set up your hands. So you know, spread your fingers really wide and press your palms into the ground. But as a result, don't let your fingers lift up because that will put a lot of pressure on the wrists. I want you to think about then slightly bending your fingers, right? Or thinking about pressing the pads of your fingers down into the ground and then gripping, almost like gripping the ground, like you were gonna like be able to fold it in half and pull it up towards you. I hope that's a good description. Yeah. Like you're just going to press down into that. And it takes a less of a load onto the wrists. Keep that, tuck your toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Notice if that does anything to change what happens in the upper body. So we don't take it all in the shoulders. The hands become a little bit more of our support. Take a full breath in. Big exhale. And slowly walk your hands back towards your feet. You can separate your feet as wide as you need. And like we spoke about last week, soften the knees enough to think your belly and your thighs beat and let your head then hang. So the upper body gets to really release here. The hamstrings don't do as much work. And then take a halfway lift. Big breath in, chest goes forward, shoulder blades down your back. Notice what that does to your neck, nice and long. And then exhale, refold. And find a halfway lift again. Walk your hands up your thighs. Bring your hands to your hip creases, right into your hip creases. You can even like start to dig your fingers in there and then stand all the way up. I want you to keep your fingers there and almost start to feel that like meaty muscle, or all of those muscles, there's a few that start to like exist in the front of your hips here. I want you to, you'll notice they'll start to fire right away as we play with this. I want you to shift weight into the left foot and pick your right knee up hip height. So you're creating like a 90-degree angle, and you keeping your fingers there, you can still feel those like meaty muscles that work. Now, start to slowly send your right knee out to the right. You might wobble a little, that's okay. And then bring it back to center. Do that one more time. Bring it out to the right, back to center. Now straighten your right leg, press your heel forward. It's like really, really working. Take one more breath in, lift your hands high, and then just set your right foot back down next to your left. Arms down along your sides, palms forward. Shrug your shoulders as you inhale. Open your mouth, let it go. And then bring your hands back to your hip creases. Shift the weight to the right foot. Pick the left knee up, hip height. Right away, you'll feel that meaty muscle. Maybe even you'll feel it more. Notice if you flex your foot or your ankle. Now send that knee out to the left slowly. Bring it back through center. Do that one more time. Draw it wide and back in. Now you get to press that heel forward. Reach your hands up. One more breath in. Can you lift the toes a millimeter? And then set the left foot back down. Arms down along your sides, palms forward. Again, shrug your shoulders, breathe in. Open your mouth, breathe out. So practicing that deep flexion of the hips, or engaged flexion of the hips. You're just going to keep that in mind as we practice. So sweep the arms out and up, rise up. Soft bend in the knees, sit back into chair pose. Take a breath in to lift the heart. And then think belly towards your thighs as you fold, let the head drop less. And then a halfway lift, big breath in. Walk the hands forward, downward facing dog, but right away, think of your hands. Soften through the knees. Deeper inhale. Long exhale. Now rise up to your toes. I want you to drop back down to tabletop pose. Lift your chest, find cow on the inhale. Round your spine, cat on the exhale. And then back to neutral. Now really think about engaging the belly, like letting that be your center. I want you to start to bend your right knee, but send it back behind you. Lift that leg up behind you. So think 90 degrees here. And you're flexing through that right foot. Now use the inhale just to press your right heel up a little bit higher. Now stay with me, then bring your right knee back in line with the left. I want you to keep this right angle with your right knee, but send your right knee out to the right. Pause, and then kick it up and back. So you're just creating a circle here. Draw it in, Draw it to the right, and then up and back. So it's clockwise circle. Do that one more time. Draw down, out to the right, kick it up and back. Now take your right knee, snug it behind the left. So they're like crossed here, almost like eagle legs. And then take your feet a little wider apart. They can touch the ground. Now think like child's pose. Send your seat back. Keep your fingertips reaching forward. So just a different stretch in the hip here. Take a full breath in. Long breath out. Now you'll slowly start to come back forward. Send that right leg behind you straight. And I want you to set your right foot outside your right hand. Just step it forward. You can even come up to the pads of your fingers, tent your hands. Start to rock your hips forward here slightly. So now your left hip is in extension. Your right hip is in flexion. Notice the difference. Now pull your hips back like we did last week. I want you to pick your right toes up. And then rock back forward into that lizard. Maybe feel the hips sink a little, but not too much. And then you pull back, pick the right toes up. So nice. Now rock forward. I want you to heel toe that right foot in just a little bit more. So you have support on the earth with your knee and your foot. And then reach the arms up. Take a big breath in. And then start to bend the elbows wide like goalposts. Then take the arms down along your sides, palms face forward. Now spin your thumbs in, palms back behind you. Press your hands back. Lift through the heart. Now, as you press down through that front foot, maybe start to sink your hips further a little bit, but don't sink all the way down. So there's a lot happening. Can you still feel that drawing in and up action? At the same time, your left hip, the front of your left hip, is getting a little bit longer. So nice. Now sweep the arms back up as you inhale. Interlace your hands, take them behind your head, elbows wide, like you're creating a pillow for the back of your head. Let your chin rise. So nice. So notice the whole left front side of your body gets really long. And then slowly lift your head back up. So nice. Take your hands inside your right foot, tuck your back toes, give that back knee a break, lift it off the ground. And then walk your hands down the long edge of your mat, just parallel your feet. So staying low to the earth, wide leg forward fold. Halfway lift, big breath in. Exhale, fold. And then halfway lift again. I want you to see your right foot. Now you'll frame it. You're going to come back into a lunge, just a low lunge. And then step your left foot up to meet the right. Halfway lift, big breath in. Hands catch your hips, stand all the way up. Now start to send weight into that left foot. I want you to pick that right knee up, hip height. Like you did before, send it out to the right. Draw it back into center. Do that one more time. Draw it out to the right. And then back to center. Now press your right heel forward. I want you to reach your hands up to the sky, but don't tip your torso back. Let it stack over your hips. One more inhale to lift the toes higher. You feel that right hip flexor working. Now you get to release it. Swing that leg behind you. Land in a lunge, but high lunge. So now we get to find that deep flexion. Now we have the extension. So reach the arms up. Bend the elbows wide. Take a breath in to broaden through the chest. Arms down along your sides, palms face forward. So just something to do with the arms. And then start to flip your palms behind you, thumbs in. Like you are pressing into a wall, press your palms back. Nothing else changes. Now maybe even soften that right knee and lift through the heart. Sweep the arms back up and overhead. You're almost out of it. Interlace the fingers behind your head, elbows wide. Cradle your head, let it fall back. Really feel the front of that right hip get really long. It's working, but it's also lengthening. And then use your hands to lift the weight of your head back up. Now reach the arms high. Now listen for this change. Press into your left foot. Stand up. Bring your right knee with you. Squeeze it up in towards your chest as you stand up. And then set your right foot back down. Mountain pose. Palms forward. Shrug the shoulders. Breathe in. Open your mouth. Empty. Now one more time on this side, on that right hip. Shift the weight into the left foot, excuse me. Pick the right knee up, hip height. Now a little different. I want you to stand up really tall. Take that right knee out, 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 out. You're gonna land that right foot behind you, warrior two. Arms go long. So another way we can feel the front of that right hip getting a little longer. Maybe you start to like really reach through your fingertips. Think about lifting through the crown of your head. Take one more breath in. Breath out. Reverse your warrior. Left hand will rise. Now straighten your left leg. Just find triangle pose. Left hand down to your shin. Right arm reaches straight up to the sky. Maybe right arm over your ear if that feels good. And you'll slowly rise up. Parallel the feet. Fold forward. Now this time a little different. Halfway lift. Bend into your right knee. And then straighten. Bend into your left knee. Then straighten. Bend into your right knee. Look to the front of your mat. Frame your left foot in a low lunge. Now drop your right knee down. Start to pick that left foot up. Actually, take both hands inside your left foot. Wiggle walk it over to the left. Pick that foot up. Tabletop pose. Just swing that knee back around. Lift of the heart, cow. Rounding your spine, cat. Now come onto your belly if that's comfortable. Point your toes back. And then if you want, you can start to bring your forearms in front of you and lift your face, right? So a little bit of a back bend here. If you want a little bit more, you can bend your right knee. And then you can start to slide that left forearm right for support, like right under your chest. Now you could stay here. Maybe if you want, you could grab the top of that foot or even just energetically draw towards that foot. Now, maybe kick your foot into your hand, but at the same time, engage your glutes by pressing the top of your left foot into the ground. And really kick into that hand. Take one more breath in. You're an extension. Your spine is an extension as well. And then exhale, release. Take hand over hand, forehead right on top. And you might even let the heels splay out and the toes go in. For me, that releases my sacrum, but I know that all bodies are built differently. Just feel a sense of softening and releasing towards the ground. Sometimes whenever we are prone rather than supine, we can find more release in our hips. Pause here for a moment. One more round of breath in and out. Bend your knees and think about your lower legs being like windshield wipers, side to side, right, left. Your feet go from side to side. Feeling your pelvis tilt side to side as a result. And then lower your legs to the earth. Slide your hands under your shoulders. And then just press up to hands and knees. Walk the hands back. We have all of that on the other side. If you want a cat-cow, take it. Whatever feels good or whatever your body needs. And when you're ready, lift your left leg, but with that 90-degree bend. So think about pressing your heel up, but keep the belly active rather than sinking it down. So it's not a back bend. It's just tabletop with your leg lifted. And then bring that left knee in line with the right. Send it out to the left. Yes, you've got it. Kick it up and back. 2 more times on your own, but move slow. Slow is the goal. And you get to tuck that left knee behind the right. Take your feet wide apart. Send your seat back as a stretch. So think like child's pose, but with your knees crossed. So nice. Now you'll shift back forward. Kick that left leg behind you just for a moment. And then bring your left foot outside your left hand. You can tent the hands or tent the palms. Come to your fingertips. Rock the pelvis or the hips forward. So you deepen the flexion in the knee, in the left hip. And then you deepen the extension in the right hip. So the right hip gets longer. And then you pull the hips back. Left toes pick up. Do that one more time. Rock forward into lizard. Pull it back. Pick the toes up. Now rock forward, but heel toe that left foot in towards your center line a little more so you can press down for support. Rise up with the hands. Breath in right here. Bend the elbows wide like goalposts. So really open through the chest. Like for me, with the elbows bent, it's just so much easier to find that broadness. And then take the arms down along your sides just for a moment. Turn thumbs in, palms behind you. Press the palms behind you even more. Now keep the chest lifting as you sweep the arms up. Think about that right hip getting even longer. Interlace the hands behind the head. Elbows wide, lift the chin. Head drops back. And then slowly come back to center. Reach the arms back up. Hands inside the foot. Now you get that back knee a little more released. Tuck the toes, lift the knee up. And then walk the hands down the right edge of your mat. Parallel your feet. Wide leg forward fold. Let your head drop. Soften your knees. Take a breath in, halfway lift. Maybe even soften your knees more as you fold. So really feel the release in the back of your neck. And then halfway lift again. Frame your left foot at the top of your mat. So just take one more breath in to reach your heart further forward. Step your right foot up to meet the left. Halfway lift, big breath in, top of your mat. Hands catch your hips to stand all the way up. Ha. Now, shift the weight into the right foot. You've got it. Left knee picks up, hip height. Just that 90-degree angle. Keep flexing through the foot. Send the knee wide. And then bring it back through center. Try not to let the pelvis move. So just the hip muscles are doing the work. Yeah, everything stays in neutral. Now, press your heel forward. Reach your hands up. Now you get a moment to pause. Maybe even take one more breath in. Lift the toes even higher. And then swing that leg back. Land in your high lunge. Bending the right knee. Also bending the left. So no one says that we have to have that back leg straight, actually. We tend to do this as a result. I'd rather you bend the back knee to keep the belly strong. Reach the arms up for the inhale. Bend the elbows wide, last time. Open through the chest, breathe in. Keep the chest open, arms down along your sides, palms forward to start. Thumbs in, palms back, press them behind you. Keep all of that, sweep arms back up. Interlace the fingers behind the head, elbows wide, lift through the chin. So think about the whole front of your left side getting really long. And then press into the back of your head, lift it back up. So nice. Now reach the hands up for a moment. Press into that right foot. I want you to stand up and hug that left knee up and in towards your chest. Okay, one more breath in. Stamp that left foot down. Take a moment, palm slip forward. Shrug the shoulders as you inhale. Open your mouth as you empty. Now, one last time to shift that weight back into the right foot. I want you to pick that left knee up, hip height. Start to take that left knee out, out, out to the left so much that you land in warrior two. So another way to get that left hip a little bit longer. Bend through the right knee, arms go long. Stay, breath in. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. Now straighten your right leg, reverse triangle, right hand will rise. And then your triangle pose. Now, a little bit of a tip for triangle. If you feel like you have a really wide stance in warrior two, when we straighten our legs, sometimes that leaves us with less support in our foundation if we have a wide base. So take your back foot, heel toe it up a little more to then bring your right hand down and left arm reaching high. It won't be as much of a strain on our low back. Thank goodness. One more breath in, maybe left arm over your ear. And then you'll slowly rise, parallel the feet. Reach the hands high, wide leg forward fold. Halfway lift. Bend into your right knee. So just a little side lunge action. Rise up and left knee bends, rather. And then frame your right foot at the top of your mat, low lunge. Drop your left knee down. Bring your hands inside that right foot. Wiggle walk that foot over to the right so you can pick it up and swing that leg behind you, land in tabletop pose. So nice, lift the chest, find cow. Round your back, drop your head, cat. And then slide onto your belly. Take your forearms right underneath you for a moment. Now you'll keep your right forearm on the ground, maybe even slide it closer towards your chest. Just for support here so you can start to bend your left knee. Now this might be where you stay and that's awesome. If you want, maybe reach for that top of the left foot with the left hand. Now, rather than taking that foot out to the side, I need to think about keeping it towards your center line, like drawing it, just kicking it back into the hand rather than out to the side. So then press into that forearm and the toes point back, your right toes point back, top of your foot, press it down into the ground so you can keep the legs activating so your low back doesn't have to do the work. One more breath in, really press that left foot into your hand if you have it. And then slowly release, hand over hand, forehead on that spot. Now let your toes, maybe like I said before, draw in, heels out, or whatever feels good to like release. Think about like if you were in Shavasana, but on your belly. Take the time here, just maybe to close your eyes. Think about your pelvis, your hips, maybe sinking a little bit heavier towards the ground. Maybe even think about softening the space in between your shoulder blades. In this place of release, breathe in. Slow breath out. Do that 2 more times, maybe even slower. In and out. Last one. And if this feels like so great to just lie down, you feel like so supported and just a lot of release here, I invite you to stay. Or if you are ready for just a few more shapes, you're going to roll onto your back just from here. And like you were setting up for bridge, bend your knees, arms down along your sides, but have that pillow handy. I want you to lift your hips, slide that pillow or bolster right underneath your low back. So your pelvis is lifted off the ground. Doesn't matter how high. Just so it's a little bit higher than your heart. And then bring your right knee towards your chest. It doesn't have to squeeze in so far, but just draw it in enough so you can hold on to it. And then let your left leg go long. Heel on the ground. And if you want a little more, left arm can reach overhead. Think about your whole left side getting a little bit longer with every round of breath. If that feels like a lot, drop your right foot onto the ground for support. One more breath in. Release on your exhale. Slowly bend your left knee. Let your left foot return to the ground for a moment. Hands to your belly. And then you get to switch left knee, draw it in slightly, just enough to hold. Right leg long with your heel touching the ground. If you want more, right arm over your ear or right alongside your ear. If that helps, stay or drop your left foot back to the ground. Sometimes with that left foot on the earth, you can really feel the grounding as your right hip softens and opens a little more. Full breath in. Maybe even open up your mouth. You have the choice to lengthen both legs. Sometimes that can be a little bit of, or cause a little bit of feedback in the low back. If that's too much, bend both knees. And then just pause here with your hips slightly elevated. So either your legs are long or your knees are bent with your feet on the ground. Close your eyes for 3. As we exhale, think about the front of your hips softening too. Last one. You can pick your seat up if it feels okay. You can slide that pillow closer towards your heels. It's right under your thighs. And then let your legs go long. Palms slip up with your arms down on your sides. And let this be a little more rest. And give yourself that gift of rest, of just a little bit of relaxation, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's just finding your breath for the next few moments. Take a big breath in. Maybe let your lips part. Slowly exhale. Start to rock your head side to side. Bend your knees. You're ready, but try to use little to no effort after that release. And then you'll roll to your side and press yourself up to a seat. Sitting up nice and tall. Maybe bringing your hands to your heart. So I took a class earlier today, and the message that we were like sent off with was take care to take care. And I let that like percolate a little bit. And really, how that landed on me was the idea of making time and taking space and time to take care of yourself in some sort of way, whether that's just a pause in your day or if it's through movement or breath. So then you are able to better take care of others. So take care to take care. A full breath in. And a big breath out. Namaste. Thank you both so much, as always, for showing up. I hope that was informative, helpful, maybe even a little different.